What's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's good to be back on the live. I know last time we had our live when we tried to do it for the first week of the year, we had some audio issues, and so we worked that out. And so I'm excited to get back on it, and we're gonna get into it, y'all. We got a lot of opportunities to get into this week. Ish, what's going on, my man? And so with those opportunities, I've noticed this week we got a lot of Japanese yen pairs that's supposed to be popping off. We have Euro. We have a little bit on USD. So we're going to go through it all. We're going to see exactly what's going on. And we're going to get it in with a good analysis, because I see that we have some good opportunities that we can take advantage of this week. Like I said, for me, I'm always excited to kind of get into the market and do analysis and see what we can do for the week, because this gives all of us like a fresh start, to kind of renew, some of the things that, we didn't get a chance to do last week, to kind of capitalize off what we didn't catch last week, to correct any mistakes that we did last week or anything like that. So the weekend for me, I usually designate for back testing, and then weekly analysis. And then we kind of go on the week and try to capitalize on the things that we're looking for. All right. If you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, please put them in the chat and we'll definitely get to them. Like I said, we'll be adding NAS 100 and also US 30 to the analysis, and maybe possibly the S&P 500. That's not one I really look at, but it does correlate with US 30 and NAS 100. All three of those kind of move in unison, and if they don't, then you kind of sort of have a mixed market and things like that, and then it can kind of throw one or the other off. But for me, I kind of like the way NAS move the most, and then US 30. So like I said, we'll get into both of those. And if y'all have any other pairs that y'all want to see, we'll definitely mark those up from scratch. But you know what, man, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start it off with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day, Lord. I want to thank you for anybody that's under the sound of my voice. I pray that this channel continue to be a resource to any of those who engage in it. Lord, I pray that I continue to be patient, and I can answer any questions that anyone have, Lord. And I pray that I remain humble in this journey, and that this particular resource can help somebody become financially free. I pray that this tool can help, lead anyone to financial freedom if they learn this skill and take the patience and the time to do it. And I pray that anyone that was not profitable last week, that they'll be more profitable this week. And Lord, we pray and we ask these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, let's get into it. All right, so going over our news for the week. So for those who are absolutely new, okay, one of the things that we like to do, we like to go over, there's two analyses: our fundamental, which is our news, and then we go over our technical, which is on the charts when we mark up our charts and things like that. So let's go over our news. So as we can see, for Sunday, we got things popping off tonight for the Chinese yuan, which is not a big impact to us. And then on Monday, we have the Japanese yen pair. It's tentative, so we don't have a specific time, but we can see it's dealing with monetary policy and things like that. So tomorrow, we might see some sporadic volatility with the Japanese yen pairs. So just be mindful for anyone who's trading things like GJ, EJ, CJ, things like that. Just be mindful that Monday we'll have a lot of movement on any Japanese yen pairs. And then going into Tuesday, we have Japanese yen tentative again. We have USD popping off for the Richmond Manufacturing Index, and we have CPI on NZD. So occasionally we trade NZD Chef. So around 3:45, that's a time that I don't really plan on being in the market anyway. But just a heads up for anybody that trade NZD pairs, when you get that cutover around 4 p.m. Central Time or 5 p.m. Eastern, you have a major gap in the market with NZD pairs. So if you do trade NZD pairs, just be careful around that time. I definitely wouldn't put any trades in or be in any trades around that time on NZD, because even if you're in profit, I mean, it can spike you out and things like that because of that spread when the time changes over. Okay. Going into Wednesday, we got Euro popping off for our London session. We have French flash manufacturing on PMI. So we should definitely see some movement during our London session. Then we also have the Euro popping off again at 2:30. We have 3 o'clock as well. So it's going to be a busy morning, a busy London session for the Euro. And then 3:30, we have the British pound. And then popping off for our New York session, we have CAD and we got USD. Okay, we got monetary policy on the CAD, so we'll definitely look at USD CAD this week, so we can probably see some movement on that on Wednesday. Okay, going into Thursday, we have the Euro for London session, and also kicking off for our New York session. We got monetary policy, so we should see some movement there. And we also have USD news at 7:30. We have GDP, which is gross domestic product. And we got advanced GDP, so we'll see some movement on Thursday for the US dollar. And then we also kicking it off again with Euro at 7:45. Okay, we got USD at 9, and we got the Japanese yen pairs at 5:30. And then closing it off on Friday, we got USD with our course price index on Friday, and also home sales at 9 o'clock. So we got some movement in the market, which can create a lot of opportunities for us this week. Okay, so let's jump into it. And like I said, before I start again, if you guys have any pairs you want to see marked up, please put them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. All right, so kicking it off with the Euro, and I'm going to put our trend direction on that way we can actually see exactly which direction that we're going. So right now on the daily, we're bullish. And as you guys can see, we've pulled back into our golden zone. So we're kind of sort of in premium pricing right now. And when the market closed, you guys, last week, we closed with a bullish, bearish, bullish, and we got an impulse in this area here. So we might see price come up, take out this liquidity here, and then maybe give us a retest and then continue to the upside. Because one of the things that we can see, we have an imbalance here. But we also have, daily structures up in this area here because we're bullish. Okay. Now, I'm not going to negate the fact that we could come down and tap into this area and then possibly go higher. That could be a possibility, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen, because being that it closed with a bullish, bearish, bullish, and this here is a continuation pattern. So it shows that we want to slightly go a little bit higher. And we might just do that just to close out this imbalance here. Okay. So if we drop down to the 4-hour and look and see what we have, I'm sorry, that's the 15-minute. If we go to the 4-hour, we're currently bearish on the 4-hour time frame. And so as we can see on the 4-hour, later on this week, price came down, it wicked through, gave us a little bit of liquidity. However, we didn't get a body closure in this area. So as you can see, price closed below in this area here, and it gave us a slight impulse, and then it didn't take out this low here. Okay, so right now, currently, we're in a retesting phase, possibly on the H4 time frame. Now we could go down and tap into this demand here, but we can see that we got some rejection in this area. Okay, so if we hold on one thing on the 4-hour. So we know that we have to do a retest before we drop. So if we utilize our fibs from the top and the bottom, we can see this is our golden zone in this area here. So we're looking for price to possibly come up to this area, maybe give us a move or something like this, and then maybe drop down to this area here. Okay, so that's something that can possibly happen. Let's drop to the 15-minute time frame and see exactly what we have as well, because that's the time frame. Our medium time frame is actually what we trade from. So if you guys notice on the 15-minute, we have an opportunity here, because if we look at our trend direction, the 15-minute, we're bullish. Okay, the H4 we're bearish, the daily we're bullish. So the 15-minute, like I said, we're bullish on the 15-minute. All right, and so if we look at this, let's look and see what we have on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, so we can see that. Let me go ahead and lighten this, that way we guys can see it. I'm gonna change the color for this here, and I'm gonna actually let me make the screen a little bigger. Well, let's go to full screen. There we go. All right, so let me make these charts slightly bigger so we can see. Let's make this a 3. All right, here we go, y'all. So as we can see on the 15-minute, a couple of things. Price came down, gave us a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and gave us a break of structure here, which took out this high here. We got a retest in this area here. Price trickled up, gave us a 1-minute break of structure, gave us a retest, and now we're kind of sort of off to the races. Okay, this is our 15-minute week high here that we're looking to take out, and we also have some liquidity in this area here. Okay, so right now, like I said, on a 15-minute time frame, we're bullish. This is our protected low down in this area here. So one of the things I'm looking to see is for price to possibly take out this high here, maybe give us another retest, or it can just go straight up to this liquidity or this H4 time frame here, and then maybe give us a pullback and maybe continue higher. Okay, so that's some of the things that I want to see. I do have an alert on this area here just to see when we actually break this area, and it could present another opportunity for us to actually go to the upside. Okay, like I said, we have a lot of news on the euro this week, so we have a lot of opportunity that we can capitalize on the euro. Okay, now let's be mindful. Like I said, on the euro, we are bullish on the daily and the 15, but we're bearish on the H4. And being that we're bearish on the H4, we're possibly going to see a pullback to continue maybe our daily structure. And so what I mean by that is we might see price come up to this area, come down to this area, because like I said, we're bearish on the H4, and then it can possibly continue to the upside. All right, so let's make sure we're mindful of that for EU, and that's what I have for us for that particular pair. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and look at GU. Okay, let's look at the British pound. And so looking at GU, you guys, we can see that we're bullish on the daily. Okay, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high. This area right here, I don't necessarily count this as a higher high, so to speak, because price in this area kind of consolidated a lot. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If you notice, you got this one candle here, and all of this price action here, it never really broke out of that area. Okay, so for me, this is just consolidation up in this area. However, we did break from this area here, and we got more than a 1 or 2 candle pullback that broke away from this candle here. Okay, so I look at this as our higher high, and then price kind of came and kind of broke through that area. All right, so we can see that price came and tapped into a daily demand in this area, but let's look at our 4-hour just to see exactly what happened on that time frame there. Okay, so if we look at our 4-hour, it's really, really small, but we can see it. We got a break of structure on the 4-hour, you guys. So this was our 4-hour low here. And if you guys can see, we got 2 candle closures below this area here. Okay, so we want to make sure that we utilize what our eyes can see. We don't want to go ahead and guesstimate and say, well, I don't think it broke, but we want to utilize and see exactly what it does, because candle body closures, that signifies a lot. Okay, that gives us our confirmations. Okay, so as we can see, price came down, broke structure, and we're starting to get a pullback. All right, so if we take our Fibonacci tool from the top and the bottom in this area here, we can see that we kind of wicked in the 50% area, and so we're kind of creeping up in this area. Okay, so a couple of things that we notice is in this area we have a supply zone on the H4 that hasn't been mitigated yet. So price can clearly come up to this area, or it can stop in these areas right here. Okay, So let's drop to the 15-minute and see exactly what we can see on our medium time frame. And one of the things that we can see is some similarities to EU. Okay, one of the things that we can see is that price came down, lower low, lower high, lower low. We got a break of structure and a retest, and now we're starting to get higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so we're currently bullish on the 15, bearish on the H4. So let me say that over. On the daily we're bullish, H4 we're bearish, 15 we're bullish. Same pattern and same trend structure as we seen on EU. Okay, so right now in this area we can see that on the 15-minute we tapped into a demand zone in this area here, and price is nearing to take out this M15 weak area in this area here. So we're gonna go ahead and set an alert for this when it takes this part out. Let's see, GU breaks M15 week high, and we'll make sure that everybody can see this in our Discord. So if you're in our Discord channel, you'll get this alert. Let's see, where can we find an alert that had here we go. All right, so if you're in our Discord channel, you'll get this alert on GU. Okay, so we're looking for GU to break this area here, and if it breaks that area, we do have a demand zone down in this area here, a bullish, bearish, bullish that haven't been mitigated. So this is one of the things that we can look forward to. If price breaks this, we can look forward to price coming back to this area here. Okay, and possibly push price a little bit higher. But we're going to be patient because we do have some British pound news as well. So we'll see exactly what that presents to us. And like I said, if anybody have any pairs that they want to see marked up, please put them in the chat, and I'll put that in the chat as well. Okay. All right, so let's move on to USD CAD, because we know that on USD CAD we have a lot of news this week. Preferably, I believe it's on Wednesday. Let's see what day that is. Yup, Wednesday. We have a lot of news on Canadian pairs. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's take a look at it. Let's look at the daily. Okay. So one of the things that we can see on this particular pair, let's look at our trend direction as well. Okay, so we can see that we're bearish on all three time frames, major time frames that we really look at. And we can see on our daily that, we had, higher highs and higher lows. We had a break of structure with a small minor pullback in this area here. And then we continued in its bearish structure. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this, shall we? We can see that price was nearing up on this daily supply. However, it didn't quite tap into it. All right, it didn't quite tap into it. And one of the things that we can see on this daily, that we do have this bearish, bullish, bearish here, that it looks like this bearish, bullish, bearish has been tapped into. Okay, but price can possibly come down here and maybe continue higher, or this could be the descent that we're looking for. We don't know. So we can see that it definitely gave us some bearish momentum, which gave us another supply zone in this area on the daily time frame. Okay, now let's drop to our H4. Okay, so if we look at our 4-hour time frame, a couple things that we can see. Okay, the 4-hour, I'm sorry, this is actually bearish in this area here. I'm sorry, I marked that up a little bit wrong. This is strong, this is actually weak. H4 weak. All right, so we can see on the H4 we're bearish as well. okay? And it's literally following the same structure as our daily. It came up to this area here. It was a hot, I mean, it was a really big swing pullback. And so we can see that we're starting to pull back on the H4 time frame. So we had a H4 supply up in this area that was kind of almost up in the same area as our daily. And so from there, we didn't quite tap into it, but you can see that we just started to just drop to the downside. Okay. And we can see that the market closed in a bullish, which is a continuation. So a couple things that we can see. We can see price either break through this area, come back and tap into this supply zone here, or we can tap into this H4 supply right in this area here. Okay. So that's a couple things that we can look towards. But we also have another demand here with an imbalance in this area. So we have a couple things that could possibly happen, but we want to be patient and look at the market and see what it's going to give to us. Okay. If we drop down to our 15-minute time frame, and I'm gonna take off some of these other marks, that way we can kind of see them. Let me see, this daily needs to go there. So let's take a look at this, you guys. So on the 15-minute time frame, we can see that in this area we had higher high, we had a break of structure right in this area, right over here. Break of structure. I'm sorry, I did that totally wrong. Let's see. So we had higher high, higher low, actually here, because it didn't break that area. So we had higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure, a retest. Okay, so we marked that wrong. Here it is, right this area here. Okay, let's make sure we get it right. Make sure we get it right. Okay, this is it here. All right. And so we just need to readjust a little bit. So this is where it actually broke in this area here. And so this was liquidity here in this area. So I can remove this. And we can see that price came down, give us a lower low, lower high, lower low, kind of broke a little bit. And then we came up to this area and then it broke down again. So we're going to use the high swing. Okay. So lower low, lower high, and then it broke down. Okay. So now we can see that we're bearish on the 15-minute. And right now, this is our current 15-minute swing high. And down here, we haven't really established a swing low yet on the M15, okay? So one of the things that we can see, though, is that our candle started to get really small, okay? And so this could probably symbolize that price wants to turn around because it is inside of a 4-hour demand right now. And so price can turn around on us and possibly tap into this H4 supply and maybe continue to the downside, okay? And we have a couple of areas of interest that we can see, you know, possibly here. And we also have another area in this area right here. So what we'll do, though, we'll set an alert in this area here. That way, when price starts to approach this demand zone, I mean, the supply zone, we'll understand and know that we can start, you know, going to our lower time frame to kind of form our bias to kind of see if we can catch a break of structure retest on a smaller time frame and continue in that bearish structure. Okay, so we can say USD CAD approaching H4 supply. Okay, and so we'll make sure this is in our Discord chat as well. All right, there we go. So when price get up to this area, it'll alert us. That way we can take notice and kind of look into it. All right. So that's pretty much what I have on USD CAD, you guys. So like I said, with USD CAD, we're bearish on all 3 time frames. So right now for this particular pair, I'm only looking for sales. I'm not looking for any buys until we actually break structure on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. Now, let's look at gold. Let's look at the golden girl and see what she's talking about. And for those that know me, gold is actually my favorite pair that I like to trade. So, excuse me. As you guys can see, for gold, we're bullish on the daily, we're bearish on the H4, and we're bullish on the M15. And so we have the same trend structure as EU and GU, okay? So now, let's look at this. On our daily time frame with gold, we can see that our bullish structure is here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, currently in this area right here, okay? And so right now, price is still kind of, trickling around in this area, and I'm not sure if price is going to come up and take out the liquidity in this area. It could, like I said, because our daily is bullish, but for me personally, I just don't know for sure if it'll get all the way up there and take out this liquidity at this particular time. All right. So if we go and look at our, a couple areas of interest that we can see though, is we have a daily supply here. Price can come tap up to this area, maybe break through, or continue down to this area and tap into this daily demand. Okay. But let's go to our H4 and kind of see exactly what's going on with that bearish structure. So one of the things that we can see on our H4 time frame is earlier, last year in December, you can see that we had a breaker structure retest. Price started to trickle up to this area here. Okay. Then we came down and we broke structure last week. We had almost like the same identical move as it was on GU. We got two candle closure bodies up in this area that broke structure here. And then you can see price already came back and retested more than 50%. It came back and tapped into this H4 demand here. We see, and it also took out this liquidity, and then price decided to drop off, taking out this low in this area here, which kind of established our H4 trend. Okay. So we can see now this is our H4 protected high, and it's our weak low in this area here. And right now, if we throw our Fibonacci tool on, we can see that we're well within our golden zone right now. But I do want to see if price will come up and actually tap into this daily supply here, because that'll give us a point of reference for price to actually start to reverse and maybe take out this low in this area here. All right. So right now, because we're in the golden zone, it's literally hands off for me for any trading until I see a break of structure on the 15-minute. And so speaking of the 15-minute, let's see that particular structure and see what we got. So right now on the 15, we can see that last week we had a break of structure in this area here. Okay. So we can see that we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure that took out this high here. We got a small retest, and we want to look for price to take out this M15 swing high in this area here. But like I said, for me, it's literally hands off until price breaks structure on the 15-minute. Now, right now, the structural break would be all the way down here. But I want to see price break this swing here. And if it breaks this swing, from there, we can actually move our structure point up to this area here. But right now, we don't have that. And so I'm going to go ahead and mark this here and say gold breaks M15 week high. We're going to add this to our Discord alerts as well. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're going to add this to our alerts as well. And so this is where, the patience come in, because we don't necessarily want to rush into anything. We just want to be patient. Some people will say, well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just, catch this bullish move up to this area. Yeah, that's fine and cool. You can do that. But being that we're already in a premium discounted area for our H4, price really don't have to continue up to this area and break this. You know, we're already in an area where it can actually turn around on us. So price can literally come up a little bit and just start to do something like this because we're bearish on the H4. And so for me, it's literally hands off. This is literally going to be a patient game on gold. And so I won't literally touch gold until gold breaks this 15-minute high, or it comes down here and give me a breaker structure down here. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at with gold. It's pretty much holding my hands until it does those two things. Okay. All right. So now that's pretty much what we have on gold. Like I said, gold is bullish on the daily, it's bearish on the H4, and it's bullish on the 15. So now let's go ahead and move on to US 30. And so for those who trade indices, I'm starting to get into indices, like I said, a lot more this year. And so I'm going to be marking up indices a lot more this year. But like I said, for me, Nas is probably my favorite because it moves really, really smooth. And I just like the way it moves overall as a pair. Okay, so let's look at this. All right, we're going to start off literally on the monthly with Nas 100 because there's a couple of things I want to show you guys, okay, with this particular pair. And if you notice, if we just look at Nas as a whole, you know, kind of the inception of Nas kind of started back July of 2014. You can see there's no analysis here, and you can see right now we're literally sitting at an all-time high. There's nothing up here that price can bounce off of or anything. Okay, so we're literally at an all-time high right now on Nas, and we can see we got mad bullish momentum from last week, and it's just skyrocketing. Okay, now just looking at what's near to this particular area, we can see that it literally just broke like a key level. Okay, and so I'm gonna go ahead and put a horizontal ray on here, horizontal line, and I'm gonna set it right here next to 38,000. Okay, right here, where it's nearing up on this particular bank level here. Okay, all right, so that's what we can see Nas is actually creeping up on right now. All right, and being that this is the monthly time frame, one of the things that we can see is that it's bullish. We can see from a monthly perspective, it broke this high here, and it also presented us with a monthly demand level in this area right here. Okay, give us a monthly demand. So right now we have some room to actually, you know, kind of break into down to this area, and it could break through this bank level. We don't know. All right, so if we look at the weekly, let's just take a look, because we're going to break this thing down bit by bit. That way we can see exactly what opportunities we can, you know, we can probably catch on US 30. Okay, and we can see from a daily perspective that it's bullish. You know, I'm sorry, this is weekly. I'm sorry, when we're looking at weekly, our weekly is bullish as well. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, major impulse to the upside. Okay, and so we can see in this area here, we had a small bullish, bearish, bullish. It didn't quite do what it's going to do, but this candle kind of broke through this area right here. All right, so now let's go to our daily. That way we can see exactly what we can actually start working on this particular pair. Okay, so now from a daily perspective, we had a breaker structure all the way down in this area right here on the daily, which tells me that we don't have really a significant retest for this particular pair. So I'm looking for price to come back somewhere in this area. Okay, because as you guys can see, price broke through and it just continued. All right, now this area here, you know what? This is actually our swing position here because still kind of weird. I don't like this. Nope, I don't like this because it still didn't necessarily break through this candle that much, this candle here. So no, I'm just using that as a complex pullback. Okay, so my structure is here, you guys. This is my daily low in this area here. This is what I'm deeming as my low, and this possibly could be a high in this area. Yes, it is. This is a high here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 candles that pull back and this broke from this area. Okay, so because of that, now we have an established area that we can look at right here. This is our daily low. Okay, because we got a body closure above this area. Okay, we got a candle to close. So because we got that body closure, now we can play. This is the area that we can play in right now, you guys. So it's condemned to where we can actually catch pips in this particular area. Okay, this is our daily demand right here. And this is the range that we're playing in. Okay, I'm just gonna move this over like this. All right, this is the area that we're playing in right now. So if we drop to the 4 hour, let's go ahead and put this in our templates. This is our daily structure. Okay. So now if we go to our 4 hour, let's check our 4 hour and see what structure we have with that. Okay. So right now, 4 hour is pretty much the same as our daily. Okay. So we have a high here. We have a low here. And we can see price broke up through this area here. Okay. I'm gonna remove our daily and we'll just look at the 4 hour for right now. Okay. And we can see on the 4 hour that we have a demand level here at the bottom that hasn't been mitigated. We have a bullish, bearish, bullish here that has not been mitigated. Okay, so we want to utilize what our eyes can see. We don't want to guess. We want to make sure that we can, you know, mark everything that's the market is presenting to us. Okay, and so this is our H4 low in this area here. Our strong low. There it is. All right. So now this is our 4 hour. Our 4 hour structure. H4 structure. All right, so now let's look at our M15 structure. Go to the 15 minute. And so a couple things that we can see on the 15 minute. If we go down to this area here, let's pinpoint this area, okay? We can see that we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay. This area here, it was just liquidity. Okay. So we had let's see something. Low, lower high, lower low. Okay. So this was our breakup structure right here on our 15 minute. Okay. So with this structural break, we can see that price didn't really give us the retest that we wanted. However, it came up here, gave us a nice pullback, and then it skyrocketed. Okay, so because of that, we can utilize this bottom here and this top up in this area here. Like I said, it didn't quite come back to this area, but it still gave us a swing pattern. Okay. And so because of that, we can designate our structure for our 15-minute. You know, this is our 15-minute swing low, strong protected low. And we don't have a high area just yet. Okay, we want to wait for a significant pullback. Okay. All right, let me move our H4 structure. So this is what we're looking at right now on US 30. This is our M15 structure. So we're bullish literally on all three time frames right now with US 30, which is kind of opposite of USD CAD. So like I said, we're bullish on all three structures. And so right now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really want to look for any buys right now just because we're up so high. And so I'm gonna set an alert on this 15-minute strong US 30 15-minute BOS. So if we get something like that, then I'll look at this, because like I said, right now, I don't know when we're going to turn around just because we're so high. Wait a minute, why did it do that? US 30 15-minute BOS. Okay, so that's what we're looking at with that. And then gold. Okay, I'm wondering why my deals are not doing what they're supposed to do. Hold on. See, gold. What? Okay, this thing is tripping a little bit. Okay, I'll fix those. I'll fix the alerts. All right, so now let's go check out Nas 100. Okay, we're gonna mark this one up from scratch as well. It's another pair that kind of just skyrocketed yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, last week. And so let's check it out. All right, so if we're looking at Nas, look at Nas from a monthly perspective, okay? And so as you guys can see, back in 2014, just like US 30, that's the kind of inception of Nas or whatever. When we start kind of looking at it, and as you can see, we're literally at an all-time high right now. We don't have any analysis over here that price can push off of, but we're literally at an all-time high. And so because of that, let's kind of look where we are right now. And we're going to look at, you know, we can see prices actually close to another bank level. So we're going to look at a mid level on this particular pair, 17,500. Okay. So that's the area that we're nearing right now, or it could be this 18,000. But since this is a mid level and it's, you know, kind of deemed as a bank level as well, we'll utilize that particular level right now because that's what price is approaching. And if we look at this on a monthly perspective, excuse me, we can see that we're bullish from a monthly perspective because we had a higher high, higher low, and we kind of broke this high here, giving us a monthly demand level in this area right here. Okay, let's drop down to our weekly just to take a peek, and we can see we're bullish on the weekly as well because the weekly gave us an impulse here, higher high, higher low, higher high. All right, so let's go ahead and look at our daily though. Okay, so this is our daily structure here, and a couple things that we can see from a daily perspective is we were bearish initially, almost identical to US 30, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure in this area right here. Okay. And in this area, we had a pullback because it's extremely small. However, you can see that we have this candle here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, candles that kind of pull back away from this area. Okay. And then also we had another one came up in this area here, pull back. And so now we have some daily structure that we can actually look at. Okay. So here's our daily structure in this area here. All right, so let's make this a little bigger so we can see it. Now, a couple things that we can note. We have a huge daily demand in this area right here. Okay, so price can possibly come back, tap into this, and then maybe continue to the upside, but we'll see exactly what price wants to do. But we have an area now that we can work with as far as our daily structure. Okay, daily structure. All right, let's go to the H4 time frame. Now, from a 4-hour perspective, a couple things that we can see is we're pretty much, how can I say it? Pretty much almost following the same structure as our daily. Okay. And as you guys can see, got higher high, higher low, price didn't quite take it out there, gave us a complex pullback, and then it broke through. Okay. And so with this particular pair, we can see that we have a swing. Let's see, we have a high. So just like US 30, we have the same structure as our daily. Okay. And some of you might say, well, why didn't you why didn't you choose this for your higher high or whatever? Wait a minute. Hold on, you guys. Let me see something. Yeah, that's correct. So it's following the same structure. So this here, I'm not deeming this as my higher high because this was the high here. This was just a complex pullback that just kind of skyrocketed to the upside. All right. We want to make sure that we're looking at the big picture and not noise in between. All right. So let's go ahead and mark up our H4 areas here. This is our protected low all the way down in this area here. Okay, so now from an H4 perspective, let's look at our points of interest. Couple things, we have one here. We have an H4 demand there. We have one here. This is a point of significance, however, because it broke this area here. And then we also have a continuation pattern right here. We have a bullish, bearish, bullish in this area right here. Okay. So now we have 3 different areas that, we can see price possibly, kind of bounce off of, but we can also, let's wait and see if price will continue up to this area, up in this area here. All right, so this is our 4-hour structure. Now let's look at the 15-minute to see exactly what areas that we can possibly catch as far as our trading structure or medium time frame. So one of the things that we can see, okay, because we want to make sure that we can look at this thing holistically. Okay, so this is looks really weird. So one of the things that we can see is price came down, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, so this is our structure here. It's a lot of noise in here, but you got to look at the big picture like we were saying. So this was our structural break here, 15 minute. Some of you might be saying, well, how did I do that? And I'm looking at all this because check this out. This is why I see that area. So if you guys can see this, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. We got a break of structure right here, which broke this. Okay, so in the meantime, that deemed this area up in here our high. I can actually extend this right on over to this area here. Okay, so this was our protected high at the time. And so if you notice, as price were coming down, you know, this was our break of structure point. Price came up. All of this is noise. Then it finally broke this low right down here. Okay, so up in this area, we came down to this area here. Okay, so all of that is our structure. So we got our breaker structure in this area here, and we got a small pullback right here. Okay. So now we're looking at this area here. We had structure here. Price came all the way up, gave us structure in this area here. Okay. And so right now, as far as 15 minute, this is our 15-minute protected low here. Okay. All right, and so we don't have a protected, a weak high as of yet. So we're kind of waiting for price to kind of give us that pullback. So right now, like I said, we're bullish on the M15. We're bullish on pretty much every single time frame. You know, we're completely bullish. So for me, because we're so high, like I said, I want to be cautious. I don't necessarily want to take any trades unless I get a break of structure on a 15-minute. Okay, so I just want to be patient with this particular pair, and I'll set an alert here. Let's say, Nas 100 breaks 15-minute. No, I'll say Nas 15-minute break of structure. I'll keep it real simple. Okay, so right now it's pretty much a patient game. So if we kind of go over all the pairs that we've looked at and kind of sum it up to see exactly what pairs can give us the greatest opportunities to trade. So right now, Nas, pretty much hands off until I get a break of structure because the price is too high. US 30 for me, hands off. Gold is hands off because it's already in the H4 golden zone, and I don't want to do anything until I get a break, a M15 break up in this area. That way I can reassess and see exactly where we are. USD CAD right now to me presents one of the best opportunities because we've already was in the H4 premium zone and we're already bearish on the 15-minute. So we're bearish on the daily, H4, and the 15-minute time frame. So only thing we're waiting for on this particular pair is for price to pull back in this area. That way we can drop to a lower time frame, 1 minute, 5 minutes, see our breaker structure retest, and then we can ride this down and kind of ride with the swing, because right now we're in pro swing of the H4, N15, and daily on this particular pair. So like I said, USD CAD presents the best opportunity. If we go over to GU, GU right now is bullish, However, we're creeping up on the golden zone for the H4 time frame. So as it comes up in this area here, it's going to be hands off for me until we get a break of structure on the 15-minute. So this one is potentially going to be hands off until we get that. If we go over to EU, we have some opportunity for EU. Okay. And I say that because for EU, we're just starting our M15 area, and we got our premium area all the way up in this area here. So we have room. So right now, USD CAD and the Euro presents our best opportunities to trade currently right now when the market opens. Now for me, I don't plan on taking any trades today or even possibly on Monday, because a lot of times on Mondays and Sundays, that's where you get that daily candle that kind of creates its wicks. And what I don't do that. And what I mean by that is this. Let's just say on the daily, let's say price opens up, here. Okay? And what price can do throughout that day, price can come all the way down, which creates this wick, and then it comes all the way up. So it comes down here, you're thinking that price is bearish. However, it's just creating that daily wick or that beginning of the week wick. It can be that initial weekly wick, something like this. You know what I'm saying? You think price is going to be bullish because price started here, price comes up to this area, creates this wick, and you like, okay, price is about to buy, but then price decides to come all the way down here and then come up and closes right here. So it's creating that wick in the beginning. So what we can do is kind of be patient on that from Sunday and Monday, depending on what the market does. Now, I'm not saying don't trade on those days, but unless the opportunity is pretty much like, okay, it's right here, I'm giving it to you. And it's like every single confirmation that you ever have, it just kind of met. But for me, it's kind of hands off for me right now. But like I said, USD CAD, Euro presenting the best opportunities right now to trade at the beginning of the week. But please be patient, on whatever, pairs you guys do trade. And before we kind of cut out, are there any questions that you guys might have? That way we can pretty much kind of look at them. If there's any questions, kind of, answer any questions you guys may have. If there are any additional pairs, kind of let me know. And, I can answer them for you. And if you guys don't have any questions, then, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to be really, really active within our Discord channel. And so just let me know, because like I said, we got a lot of opportunity this week to capitalize on. Okay. All right. So, hey, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I see you guys during the week. If you have any questions, hit me up in the chat.